Professor Richards.
Thank you, First Lady. Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone on the platform, every family member, every kingdom citizen. If you are new tonight, we welcome you to our family. Welcome you to our home. This is where we are at. And so we thank God for you for being here tonight. I thank God for you, First Lady, and what God is doing in your life. And I tell you something, she loves me in a way that if I ever look at another woman, I should go straight in the lake of fire. I tell you, she loves me and I feel love. I tell her, I feel you loving me. I feel you, and I try to respond in kind. Right? I thank God for her. I really do. I really could not have made a better choice. We talk about it all the time. We are so compatible. We're not the same. We don't always agree. We don't always see things the same way, but we are compatible. We fit together. And God has blessed us with that love. And we continue. We continue in it, and we are hoping that, it rubs off on others, on you. It rubs off on our children. And I'll tell you something, folks. What you see and hear is the truth. We don't pretend, we don't put on, we don't say, well, publicly I love you, and privately is something else. And you can ask the children, they know that. So I'm just grateful and thankful for a wife like this. I'm thankful for you, the family members as well, every single one of you. We want to continue. And she said tonight, she used the word tonight, and I listened very carefully. She said, the second half, usually is the second part. So she did well tonight. She stopped right at the second half, and she's working on it, I know. But I know sometimes when you get excited as a teacher and you have so much to give, so much in you, that you just want to give as much as possible. So I understand totally. So let's continue with the second half of our ministry for this evening. And we're looking at Romans chapter 12, verses 4 to 8, that we started a year ago. For as we have many members in one body, but all the members do not have the same function, so we, being many, are one body in Christ, and individually members of one another. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, or gifts different to our purpose, let us use them. If prophecy, let us prophesy in proportion to our faith. Or ministry, let us use it in our ministering. He that teaches in teaching, he who exhorts in exhortation, he who gives with liberality, he who leads with diligence, and he who shows mercy with cheerfulness. So we went from exhortation to leading, to leadership, and we spent a long time on leadership, and we skipped giving, he who gives with liberality. So I want to go back to that, and we skipped it at the time because I think Pastor Nicole did a little series on giving. We had some of the elders talking about giving, and I felt I didn't want to drown you in giving, in talking about giving. So I left it out. But we have to come back to it because it's part of the scripture. And so we want to begin talking tonight about giving, this version of it. What does it mean to give? What does it mean? I want somebody to answer me. When you hear give, what does it mean to you? Somebody came down from Mars and they heard us talking about giving on the earth. And they want to know, what is that thing when they're talking about giving to give? Could anybody, in your own words, you don't have to give me a dictionary definition. In fact, when I ask for things, I don't want anybody Googling it. Please, all right? We want to learn together. We want to learn together. Some water, please. And so I'm asking you, what is your definition of giving? What do you understand by the word giving or give? Somebody talk to me. Anybody? Nobody? There's no right or wrong answer. I keep telling you that. We just want to talk. We just want to talk it out. Because it's good for us to learn from one another. So I ask the question again. What do we mean? What is your thought on the word give? Joshua, help me out here.
All right, Dr. Richards. So we have a hand up, but before we call on Sister Suzanne, we have two comments in the chat. An act of sacrifice to release, yes, an act of sacrifice. Another, to release something. Another, selflessness. Another, doing something for someone selflessly without looking for something in return. Another, meeting someone else's need at the expense of yourself. Sister Susan.
Lovely, lovely definitions. And let's have Sister Suzanne.
Good night, good night. Somebody say what I was going to say, but I was going to say, you know, meeting someone needs, you know, someone needs something and you have it, you could give it to them. That's
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Good night.
Giving
of yourself.
Well, whenever you're defining something, let me give you a little English language.
All right. Extending yourself.
Wait. I want to say, because you opened it up, and I want it not just for you. This is for everybody else. Whenever you're defining something, never use the same word in the definition. All right. So if you're defining give, don't say to give somebody something. Never use the same word. All right. That's just by the way. I just said that. So let me hear you again.
An extension of yourself.
An extension of yourself. That's interesting. An extension of yourself. I have to think about that. Anybody else?
Yes, Doc, we have a few more comments in the chat. It says, give of yourself, help someone, give of yourself, help someone emotionally, financially, serenading something that you want for yourself.
Serenading,
yes, serenading something that you want for yourself. Yeah, and someone said extension of yourself, that's deep.
Okay. All right.
Janet's hand is up.
Go ahead.
Good night, everyone. It's like a presentation to someone.
It's like a presentation to someone?
Right. It is a presentation to someone.
A presentation to someone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, we have Sister Ursula hand up but before Sister Ursula, we have some more comments in this. The chat, in giving, we should recognize that the giver is always greater than the receiver. Another.
All right, okay, hold up. No, that's not a definition, huh? That's not a definition. You're telling us what to do and what giving creates, or how you should give. All right? So I want you to tell me, what does it mean to give? I don't know. I'm asking you. I just came down from some other planet. So give me a definition of give.
Another says, taken from yourself to hand over to someone else.
Taken from yourself to hand over to someone, yeah.
Act of releasing something, blessing someone at the point of their need, voluntary sharing without looking forward with expectation, emptying your resource to fill someone else. Sister Ursula.
Oh, Sister Ursula.
Good night, everybody. It is given as what you have, you want to give someone else.
You're using the word give again.
What you have, you want to share with others.
To share with others. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So can you give, and thank you all, everybody, for the can you give without wanting to share with somebody? Because I hear people saying things about releasing what you have for other people, giving out of what you have to other people. Can you give without wanting to give? Is that possible? Because what you are saying is almost like sacrificing what you have for the benefit of somebody. But is it possible to give without making a sacrifice? To give without even wanting to give? Is that possible? Talk to me.
Good night again, Pastor.
Just a minute. Please raise your hand and wait for us to call your name. All right?
Sorry.
All right, Dr. Richards, we have some comments in the chat before Sister Janet. It says a spirit of love and compassion. Yeah, I think you can. Yes.
But what? Wait.
Give.
Wait, is that a definition? A spirit of love and compassion? So whoever said that? Because we're not asking you for what motivates people to give. We're asking what does it mean to give. So let's go. Go ahead.
I think you can. One comment. The other said, yes, you can be forced to give. Yes, ultimatum. Sister Janet.
Wait. Ultimatum, what does that mean? Somebody give you an ultimatum? Put a gun to your head? Is that, I'm just trying to understand. You know, I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand what is being said. So you said somebody said ultimatum.
Yes, they said yes. Well, so yes, you can be forced to give, and the person said yes, an ultimatum.
Or somebody give you an ultimatum to give. Okay, all right.
Another said yes, because the Bible says to not give grudgingly. Another one may give out of obligation or pressure. Sister Janet.
Sister Janet?
What's happening here, boy? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
You are hearing me?
Correct, yes.
Okay, somebody was just trying to get on to me there. I was just trying. All right. I think that you can give without wanting to give, because I think someone can force you to give and you really don't want to give, but sometimes just to please the person, you give.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else?
What's going on here?
All right, Sister Janet, okay.
There's a comment that says, Dr. Richards, given unconditionally. Sister Ursula hand is up again.
Okay, what does that mean again? I'm trying to understand. And when you say something like that, I may ask you to explain.
Okay, if you want, I can call on the people who said it.
I don't want them. I want them to put up their hand. I don't want them to be forced to say.
Okay.
Right?
And so another comment is act of doing something willingly.
Act of doing something
Ursula, willingly, yeah. Okay,
act of doing something willingly. I am going to my bed tonight willingly. Is that given? All right.
So we have.
Okay. Let me explain something. Whenever you are, I'm trying to use another word. Okay, whenever you are explaining anything, or you're saying anything, remember the person is not in your head. So what we do sometimes, and this is for everybody, yeah? What we do sometimes, we have a whole picture in our head and we give them a little piece and we expect them to understand the rest. So for example, like the word ultimatum just now, that wasn't explained until we asked the question. So I want you, and this is one of the ways you teach, when you teach people, look at what you're saying from the other side, the person who is receiving it. If you use one word or use a phrase, will the person understand? You understand what you're saying because it's in your head, but you haven't conveyed what is in your head to the person. All you did is use a word or a phrase, and that could go in any direction. So I want you to take your time when you are explaining anything and think about you hearing this from somebody, if it would make sense to them. I hope you understand what I'm saying. All right, this is how you teach. This is how teachers teach. Oh, no, this is how I teach. Let me say it. Whenever I'm saying something, I think about how the person is receiving it and if they would understand it. I may have a million things in my head where I say this, but they don't know the million things. All they know is what I say. And if I say doesn't convey the million things or everything that is behind it, then I would not have conveyed to you. I would not have communicated to you. This is just to help. All right, so let's continue.
We have Sister Ursula and after Brother Dave.
Sister Ursula.
Yes, I was talking about the question you asked. I said yes, freely. You can share or give. Why? Because there are some things you might happen in our country. For example, say someone's home burned down or hurricane passed and everybody affected, but you still have a lot of stuff put away for certain times, and you went through the same phrase as everyone else. You just take and give to someone who are in need. That's your answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. There was somebody else who said? Who's the next person?
Dave?
Yes, good night, family. Good night.
Brother Dave, yes.
So let me see if I can try this. It is the handing over to an individual of what you possess, whether it be an asset or an item, or it may be not even physical, to another individual.
I like that. I like your definition. I think I will use that. And yeah. And that's what it is. And it's not that the others weren't correct. Yes, you know, a lot of you. I noticed though that there was some dictionary definition in between. And again, I want you all, whenever we ask a question, we want it from you, from your heart. I don't want you to go and look at the dictionary or look at Google or ask, you know, Dr. Google or Pastor Google. I want to hear from you. We're talking here, we're family. All right? So, the dictionary definition of giving is to transfer or the transfer of something to someone. Now, I find that is not good enough. I prefer Brother Dave's definition. But it also says to bestow, to confer, to donate, and to present. It goes on further to say to present voluntarily and without expecting compensation. Well, that may not necessarily be so either, because you know you could present something not voluntarily. You could be forced in different ways. But giving is releasing what you have. This is me now. Giving is releasing what you have. And that's the short definition of giving for me. That's my short definition. Of course, you could go into further explanation, but giving is releasing. You must be releasing. There is no giving without releasing. If you go to give somebody something and as they're taking it, you hold on to it, then you have not given because you have not released. You have to release in order for the person to receive. So there must be a receiving, there must be a releasing and a receiving. And I want to say, those who do not give, those who find it hard to give, are selfish. And I can say that without feeling without feeling bad. If you do not wish to give, you do not like to give, you don't want to give, you do not give, it's because you are selfish. Because life is designed in such a way by God that we must give. In order for somebody to receive, there must be a giving. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. We would not have everlasting life unless God gave. We would not even have life unless God gave his breath to us. So those who do not give or who do not like to give, I want to say that there's something wrong with that, because all human beings are made in the image and in the likeness of God. And God is a giver, and we are supposed to be like God. So we need to be able to give. Givers, and I'm calling them givers now, are those who share, joyfully share what they have with others. These are givers now. And as a matter of fact, tell me some of the things that we can share with others. What are some of the things that we can give? Anybody? What are some things? Because usually when we think of give, we think of money. We think of finance. Not everybody is able to give finances. Not everybody can give money to people. Not everybody could give you a Pentecostal handshake. Not everybody.
All right, Dr.
But there are
Richards.
other things. There are other things you can give, yes.
We have some comments in the chat. Time. You can give support. A few people say love. Somebody said food and joy. And give joy. Okay. A smile. Advice. Prayer support. And we have Ursula, Dolores, and Janet hand is up in that order.
Okay.
Yes. We can give our time for others.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Dolores?
Well, my answer was also time.
Mm-hmm. And that's important. Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Sister Janet?
I cannot get my
We are here.
Lord.
We're
You hear
hearing
me?
you, Sister Janet. Yes,
All right.
we're hearing you.
Okay. You can give a simple thank you. It means so much to some people. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Janet.
You're welcome.
So there are things that we can give.
Dr. Richards,
Yes.
A meal, encouragement, good counsel, a hug.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Just so that you know, and my you know what love language, 5 love languages. My love language is touch, my first. We all have different ranks, and I love hugs. That's it. Mm-hmm.
That helping hand. Give yourself to help others. Compliment, encouragement, share joy, give of your resources, give love and knowledge.
So there are plenty of things that we can give. There are plenty things that we can give. So for somebody to say, I have nothing to give, that is not a true statement. You may not have finances. I mean, First Lady and I, you know our situation, but we give. We give of ourselves. And everybody, every human being, because we were made like God, has the capacity and the ability to give. There's always something to give. It may not always be tangible. It may not always be something that you can see. It may not be, but you can give. There's always something that you can give. And the givers are those who I am describing as those who joyfully share. Because you can give without being a giver.
Richard, we have some comments.
Go ahead.
One person says blood and body parts.
Wow. Yeah, you can. Not while you're alive. Well, the blood while you're alive, but not the body parts while you're alive.
That's a heavy one here. Someone says love and time. Is offering and giving synonymous? A question to you, Dr. Richards.
You tell me, is offering, if I offer something to you, is that giving?
And somebody else said you can give a kidney.
Okay, you can give a kidney while you're alive, yes. All right, offering may not necessarily be given. I could offer you $100. And when it's time for me to give it to you, I refuse. I don't do it. I could also offer you $100 by taking it out and presenting it to you. I'm giving. So it is possible that offering and giving could be the same, but it's not always the same. I make an offer to you, and what I'm doing is offering to give. The actual giving is when I do it.
We have a comment in the chat.
Yes.
It depends on what you are offering. You could be offering a snake.
Well, then you're giving a snake. All right, and we'll talk about that. You don't think, not everything that is given is good. All right, so givers, as I said, are those who joyfully share what they have with others, whether it's financial, material, personal time, attention, and all the things that we talk about. A giver is concerned about the needs of others, and a giver looks for opportunities to share. There are people in this ministry, I know they look for opportunities to share. And in fact, I want to say all of us. I would love to say that. But I know personally people who, they just want to give, they just love to give. And not necessarily money, they want to give up their time, they want to volunteer, they want to do they want to do that because they understand that giving benefits others as it benefits them. Now, there's a difference between giving up and giving away. There's a difference between giving up and giving away. Can anybody tell me what's the difference? Anybody? Or do you agree with that I should ask in the first place? That there's a difference between giving up and giving away? Nobody this time? You're thinking about it? You're not too sure? You don't agree?
Joshua has once. Joshua.
Yes, Dr. Richards. I personally think that there is a big difference between giving up and giving away. The big difference I think that it is giving up something means that there is it's giving something that you want, that you would like to have, and giving away something is like it is okay. So what I'm saying is giving up something means that you're giving up something that you would personally like to keep. All right. So that's what it means to give up. For example, like if you have a car that you like or that you need to use, but someone else needs to use it and they give it to them, that's giving up because it's something that would benefit you and that you would like to have. But giving away is something that you may like, but you don't necessarily need it, that kind of thing. So like if you have two cars and someone needs a car, you give away one of them because you don't need it. So you give it away. So that's why I think is the difference. Giving up something is something that you may need, and giving away something is something that you don't need.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. Anyone else?
Yes, Ella Sherry. But before Ella Sherry, we have some comments in the chat. One said, yes, there's a difference. Another, giving away, donate, give up, abandon. Another, giving up something.
Give up, say that again, no, read that again. Giving away, donate.
Maybe the mean to say is giving away, again. I'm after putting some words here. I think the mean to say giving away is like donating, and giving up is like abandonment.
Giving up is like the abandonment. Okay. Right? Interesting.
The other says giving up something costs you something. Giving away is a kind gesture. Another said giving, and well, Elder Sherry.
Good evening, family. I think one is voluntary and the other one might be involuntary. Like giving up is like involuntary. It's not something that you really want to release. You probably feel a sense of pressure to release it. And giving away is, of course, a selfless act. Like you want to share something or meet a need or something like that.
That's interesting because that is in direct opposition to what Joshua said. That's interesting. Anybody else?
Yes, Dr. Richards. Sister Ursula.
Hi. Giving up for me is releasing what you have for a very long time, and giving away is something that you something that you have use of or don't have no more use of. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Interesting. Anybody else?
Dr. Richards, no, that's it.
Okay. Now, I want you to think of it this way. Now, there's nothing wrong with either of them. Let me just say that in the first place. Giving up and giving away are two things. It's still given. So you can give up or you can give away. Now, I understand Ella Sherry when she talks about giving up is more like, how she describes it is like you're a bandit and you're surrounded by police and you realize you have no other choice, so you give up. All right? That is how she described it. Now, I didn't see it like that, but as she was speaking, that came to mind. How I see the giving up and the giving away is you give up something, and let me quote Josh, well, not quote, but, say what Joshua said. You give up something that you would prefer to keep for yourself. You give it up because somebody else needs it. You give it up, it fit in, let's say it's clothes, it fit in you good, you want to wear it, or maybe it's an outfit you just bought for yourself and somebody else needs it. So you give up, you give it up. You give it up, you sacrifice. Giving up is a sacrifice. It's a sacrificial act. When you give up something that you would prefer to keep for yourself, that you can use and you like, you bought it because you like it, or is the last $100 and somebody needs it, you give it up. Giving away really is about, I'm taking what I have here, I'm doing some spring cleaning, and these clothes, as we say in Trinidad, get too small for me. So you give it away, you send it to the Salvation Army, or somebody needs it and you send it for them. You could have kept it, could have sold it, you could have do whatever it is, but you give it away. Now again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to make the distinct different because of the fact that some people feel that because they give away things, they're in a good place. I good. So you give away things that you don't need and you're feeling good to yourself, hey, I give to the Salvation Army, I give to this and I give to that. I remember once, we were talking, I think First Lady, myself, and another person was in church and she's pointing out to us, you see them clothes she have on there, I give her that, right? She gave it away to the person. She gave it to them, but once you start, now you could give up something that you want, but once you start talking about it, that's not a giving up. That is a giving away. I gave it away so somebody can have it, so I could say I gave it to them. And I'm only making a distinction because I want us to understand that giving must be a selfless act. It must be, listen, this is of value to me, and I know it's going to be of value to you. I'm giving it to you because you need it. I could have kept it myself. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's perfect for me. But I'm giving it to you. That's giving up. Giving away is, okay, I hear the caller have a call in the ministry, you know, because some people don't have this. So let me check my cupboard and see if I have any extra and give it to them. That's giving away. Again, there's nothing wrong with giving away things that you don't need, that you don't have need for. There's nothing wrong with that. But if your motive is, if it is that you can give more, if you can give, you can give things that you would prefer to keep, and you decide, no, I want this, then you're not giving up. You're just giving away. And so there's a difference. So I'm pausing here. Questions, comments?
Yes, Dr. Richards, we have Ella Sherry, her hand is up.
Yes, Dr. Richards, as you were speaking about that, I have a friend, and she's an unbeliever, and her perception of church folk is that they're poor and they're needy. So she would call me and say, "I have some things for your church people." And when I go, most of the times I'll probably be coming from church, and I used to go to church on that side and stuff. And when I come home, I would usually be very upset. And I don't know why I keep going when she tells me. Because, you know, I have a thing about me. Even if it's something that I have that I don't use anymore, I would make sure it's laundered, iron, and that kind of thing, right? So even when you look at some of these things, sometimes they're dirty, so they didn't even wash. You know, it have a hole here, and so as you're saying that you just want to give it away, you know, you want to lighten up your load or clear up your space, and rather than you put it out to the garbage, you feel, well, the church people would need it. Just
and that is true, you know. And some of the reasons, well, one of the reasons why they feel that way is because some church folk act needy. They always give me this, and they always asking, and they always want. So people will get the impression that we're in need, that church people are always in need, so they will give away things to church folks. And that's not good. And you made a point there, and that's one of the things that we were going to talk about, that when you give well. Give what you would receive for yourself. Give if somebody's giving something to you. You don't want something with the holes, or for something that you wash it and that's the end of it. You don't do that. You're giving, you want to give me a mango and the mango soft, or it have a thing on it that you had to cut with the knife and all that. No, give as though you would be a receiver. Give as though what you are given is worth something. Well, give what you are given should be worth something that someone would be glad to receive. Not someone who is in need. I mean, when you're in need, you're glad to receive anything, but give in such a way that whoever you're giving to, they would say, hey, this person really cares about me, or this person, they would think kindly of you or fondly of you. Yes?
Okay, Richards, we have a hand up. Reginald.
Yes, go ahead. Reginald.
Yes, good night to everyone, Dr. Richards, First Lady, everyone else. I just want to comment on give up. Like if a person accustomed lusting and they stop lusting, you know, that come like they give up lusting.
Okay, thank you, Reginald. And so there are other things. How much shall we have? Let me just do it quickly. There are other ways to give, and in terms of using the word give. One is, because as Reginald said, that to make a present of you give to somebody, give them clothes, you give them money, you give them, right? Then to grant, and I got this from Dr. Google, to grant or to bestow by formal action. In other words, the law gives the citizen the right to vote. You are given the right to vote. To put into the possession of another for his use. Give me a phone number, please. to convey something to someone else, giving my regards, to provide by way of entertainment. I want to give a party, to yield a product. Cows give milk. To deliver by some bodily action, give him a push. To suffer the loss of, he gave his life for his country. To offer as a pledge, I give you my word. To care to a certain extent, I don't give a hoot. And to give way, to yield the right of way. Those are just some. There are many other ways. So there's many different types of giving. But what we want to concentrate on now is giving of yourself to meet the needs of others. That's the most important type of giving. Giving to meet the needs of others. And to, as we said, one of the ways, even as we were thinking as we close, Elder Sherry talked about giving up, and which was in direct contradiction to what Joshua said, as I said. But I just thought as I was going through this, something else. You can give up your rights. You can give up your rights to do something. For example, what is the name of that lady who was on the bus many, many years ago?
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. They wanted Rosa Parks to give up her right to sit where she was sitting. And she refused to give up. There are some times that you have to refuse to give up. Even though I'm saying giving up is what you do that benefits somebody else, rather than giving away. Giving away is what you don't want, and yet it will benefit them. But it didn't mean anything to you. But in the case of Rosa Parks as well, Rosa Parks, they wanted her to give up her rights, to give up her seat, and she refused to give up. And so there are times when, even though giving up is a good thing, there are times when you have to refuse to give up. All right, we'll end there tonight, and we will continue tomorrow, God's willing. Today's what? Wednesday? Yes, tomorrow, God's willing. So God bless you. Have a wonderful night. We'll meet each other in the morning again, and we're going to continue in the presence of God and see what God is going to do. He's been doing some marvelous things in past sessions, and we want to continue. God bless you. I'll hand it back over to Minister Joshua.